Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Andrea and this is Beauty with Andy. If you've not been here before, a massive warm welcome to you, and if you have, welcome back to the channel. I really do appreciate your support. I try and say this in every single video just so you know how much I appreciate your support on this channel and my journey on YouTube. So yeah, I'm really appreciative of that. I also enjoy reading your comments as well, so I'd love it if you would write me a little comment down below. Means the world, and I always get back to the people that have commented as well. It might not be straight away, but I do tend to do it within a week before I put the next video up. So yeah, what we're going to talk about today is why I won't buy the Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions palette. So the palettes are like this. I have only just got the one, and this one is the Huda Beauty Electric Obsessions, and I absolutely adore this palette, guys. I've had it about a year now. Love it. I would definitely repurchase this. I love the bright shades in it. It's really pretty, and there are so many like mini palettes out like this, and there is the new ones, Huda Beauty Light, Medium and Dark. I definitely want to get the light one. I'll probably get that after Christmas. And I want the Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions. That is on my Christmas list. I would love to have that for Christmas. But for now, I'm going to talk to you about why I won't buy the Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions. The reason why I won't buy it is because I was going through my makeup collection just to see if I needed it. It's a beautiful palette. It looks really stunning. In fact, I've got a picture on my iPad of what it looks like, because I want to show you the eyeshadows that I've duped. And obviously they're not going to be 100% matched because I don't have this palette, so I can't do swatches and see if it has actually duped it. But to me, when I've looked on Google, they do look really similar. So I just want to show you my kind of Coral Obsessions palette. So yeah, the reason I won't buy it is because I have got so many warm eyeshadow palettes and I don't feel like I need it in my collection, so it doesn't have a place in my collection. So I just feel like for palettes that don't have a place in my collection, I'm just not going to get them anymore. I've got so many eyeshadow palettes, like it's getting ridiculous how many eyeshadow palettes that I have in my collection. So unless it's unique to my collection, then I'm just going to say no to the palette, because it is an obsession of mine. So obsessed with eyeshadow palettes. But yeah, let's get into this video, otherwise it's going to be extremely long like they all are. But yeah, let's get into it. So let's talk about the first row. So we've got that gorgeous pink shimmer there. So we'll talk about that. That's just a Twitter notification, which isn't ideal as I'm trying to film, but can't be helped. So that is the dupe for it there, if you can see that. So that's my dupe for it from, I've not even told you the name of the palette, sorry. It's the Lick and Lash Beauty. It doesn't tell me if it has a number on it. Most of them have numbers on it, but this one is just the Lick and Lash Beauty, and I refer this to my Jaclyn Hill dupe. I don't have the original Jaclyn Hill palette, but this, from what I've seen, compares so much to the Jaclyn Hill palette. Let me know if it looks similar in your mind to what the Jaclyn Hill palette looks like. I think it does. But yeah, that was that one. So that one was shade 1. Oh, I'm losing my Huda Beauty. Then shade 2. So that's from the Lick and Lash as well. So it says middle row, 5th across. So middle row, that's not right. So I must have made a mistake there. It must be that one, which is the second row, which is the red there. Which is this one. Go away. That one there. So that's the Huda Beauty, and then the Lick and Lash one is the dupe for it. So that one is the dupe for it there. Sorry, I'm out of frame, aren't I? But I think you'd rather see the dupes than not. If I don't like the way this is looking, I think I'll show you all the like eyeshadows off camera and just do an intro, but I'm not too sure what I'm going to do yet. Then we've got like a peachy orange shade here. So that's the last one there on the top row. And which did I say this one duped? Shade 3. Oh, it's from the Revolution Soap Palette. So this is the Revolution Soap Palette, and it's not ideal going to different eyeshadow palettes just to get a dupe Coral Obsessions palette, but it's better than going out and paying, what is it, £25, £27 if you don't have the money and you've got loads of like warm eyeshadows in your collection. So this is what it looks like, and I did say it was that one, but looking at it now, it's not that one, it's this one here, except this one has got sparkles in it. So what is the name of that one? So that one is in the shade Cloudberry. I don't know if that's going to pick up on camera. And then, so that's the closest I would probably get in my collection. And then this is the Huda Beauty shade there. Right, so now we're moving down to the middle row of the Huda Beauty. So that brown shade there. So let's see what I said. Which palette would dupe that? It says shade 4, Lick and Lash, row 4, 7th shade. Right, let's have a look. Says that one, but that one isn't the shade at all. I think I just mixed the rows up. It's that one there, so the shade above. So that one is a dupe for the Huda Beauty brown one that I was talking about. So that one there. So now we're moving on to shade 5. I've made a mistake in this. So shade 5 is the Revolution Sofx Original, and it says peaches for that. Let's have a look. Don't think this is right. Yes, it will be right actually. So that shade there is peaches. So that, I did get that one right. This video's all over the place, I'm really sorry about that, but that's a dupe for it. I'll show you again in the Huda Beauty. So that's shade 5 there. So now we're moving over to shade 6. So shade 6 is the Lick and Lash Beauty, first row, 4th shade. Let's see if this one's right. Yeah, and that's the closest I'm going to get to that. So that's that shade there. It's not like, it's, oh, showing you all my photos. It's not a complete dupe. They're very similar. So I would say I would say you can create similar looks. I wouldn't say these eyeshadows are complete dupes. For a start, I can't say that because I don't have the Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions. When I do get that palette, I will do a video like this to see if it is, to see if they are dupes. Eventually I'll get it, but for now I'm just saying no to the palette. When I declutter a little bit, I'll probably end up buying it. So that's shade 6 there, that end one. So then we're moving over to shade, come on, shade 7. And now, just thinking about it, this shade here, this mustard yellow shade. It really reminds me of a shade from my Revolution and Call Me palette. That's in the bathroom. I'll go and get that in a second. So shade 7, Revolution, Soap and Extra Spice, and it says the shade Vitamin C. So I just need to find that palette. Got it. This, guys, is one of my favourite palettes, and the Vitamin C shade is one of my favourites as well. It doesn't really have mustard in it. You could probably mix that shade with sweet and sour. Let's try it. And get kind of a mustardy shade. No, that's just more orange toned. At the end of this video, I'll go and get my Revolution and Call Me palette, and that's probably a closer match. Then that's what it looks like anyway in the Huda Beauty palette. I didn't really show you, did I, up close what the Vitamin C looks like. We probably all know what this looks like because it is an absolutely fantastic palette. She did a really good job on that. Shade 8 is from the Revolution Neutrals versus Neutrals, and it's a shade Vogue. So I'll just show you what that looks like. I was actually contemplating on decluttering this from my collection, but it really reminds me of the Just Peachy palette as well. Oh, it's got a brush in it, so I've barely used it. It really reminds me of the Just Peachy palette. Do you know the peach shades at the top? But let's go back to talking about this video. So that is the shade Vogue there, which looks like it could be a dupe for shade 8 in this palette here. And then this last shade here, the dupe for that is from my Rude Cosmetics Tokyo Metropolis palette. It doesn't have any colours on it, shades on it, which is quite annoying, but it is a beautiful palette all the same, and it's that shade there. And that's a duochrome as well, and I believe the Huda Beauty one is a duochrome as well. So that is all the shades in my collection. I'm just gonna run to the bathroom and get the Call Me palette so I can show you what that looks like. Right, so this is the Revolution and Call Me palette. I'm actually using this in my Shop My Stash. I've nearly used all the shades in here, and I quite like it. It's not as good as some of the other Revolution collabs that I've tested out. But yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this shade here, Yellow Heart. It's much more comparable to the one in the Huda Beauty palette than the one in the Revolution Soap X palette. So that one was the Call Me shade, and then that one is the Huda Beauty shade. They look so similar, whereas obviously that's not it. The one in the Soap palette, let's try and show you these together. So the one in the Soap palette is a bright yellow, like the sun, or like a sunflower. So that's the yellow Vitamin C, and then that is the yellow in the Call Me palette. That's definitely a more mustard yellow. So yeah, I would say that is more of a dupe for the Huda Beauty one. Like I said earlier, it's not ideal having all these palettes. I mean, how many palettes to get a look? 5 palettes to dupe that one palette, so it's not ideal for that. But if you don't want to buy any eyeshadow palettes, then you can actually get looks from the palettes that you have, and that's why I've decided just not to get the Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions, just because I have got so many warm eyeshadow palettes. I was astonished when I realised how many I had. So I'll go through them all. So you've seen these ones. So we've got the Tokyo Rude Cosmetics Metropolis palette, which looks like that's really pretty. Then we've got the Soap Revolution and Soft Ultra eyeshadows. Really, really like this one as well. So it is warm, but it's also neutral. So obviously these shades here are quite warm, and then these shades over here, right, let me do it properly. These shades over here are quite neutral, and then that's warm. So it's a mixture of eyeshadows. Then we've got this Revolution neutrals versus neutrals, which is quite warm again. I need to dig this out soon. The other Revolution and Sofx Extra Spice palette, which is my favourite of the two. Really, really like this one. So it's completely warm. It's a completely warm eyeshadow palette, and if you wanted to, you could probably get a neutral eyeshadow look out of it. What's this one? So we've got the Revolution Karmic Kiss of Fire. Right, so yeah, I would say that's more warm than anything. So that's that. Then we've got this one, so you can get neutral and warm eyeshadow looks out of this. It's one of the good things about it, with it being so big, which I absolutely love. I just need to use it a little bit more. Right. Then there is, I'll talk about the ones quickly that you haven't seen. So we've got a Model's Own one. I got this for my birthday back in February. Not even used it yet, guys, and it looks like it's been through the wars. The postman just shoved it through the letterbox and eyeshadow's cracked. So it's in the shade, not in the shade, but it's called Blaze. So this is what it looks like. Completely warm eyeshadow palette. So the yellow is warm. This kind of orangey shade, warm. Then the browns are warm. This orangey shade, warm. The entire palette is a warm eyeshadow palette. Then we've got the Zoeva Caramel Melange. Another warm eyeshadow palette. Really, really pretty. These Revolution, what's this called? Reloaded Neutrals 2. Another warm palette. I don't even need to open it, but I will. That's what it looks like. Really, really pretty. Reminds me of kind of the burgundy palette with all those kind of burgundy eyeshadow shades in there. To be honest, I think I bought this as part of the collection because I don't tend to use these burgundy eyeshadows. They're not really for me, but I've used it a few times and it's okay. Then we've got the famous Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Armed and Gorgeous, and when I got this I really didn't like it, guys, just because basically the eyeshadows wasn't pigmented, but once I'd scraped the top layer off the shimmers, like she mentioned on Twitter and all hell broke loose, it was fine. They're actually quite pigmented. So look at that, she's pigmented alright. But yeah, really, really love this palette. I would say this is a pretty warm eyeshadow palette as well, with the like mustard type shades, so you could get your mustard shade from here as well. This is quite a warm palette as well, but it's also a neutral palette, so best of both worlds. Well done, Imagination, or Imogen. So yeah, the warm shades are down here, and then the neutrals like are here, and yeah, more warm shades there. So you could do like a warm or a neutral eyeshadow, which is really, really good. I really enjoy this palette. And then last but not least is the Kylie eyeshadow palette, and you know how I feel about this if you've been watching my Shop My Stashes. I don't know if well, I want to keep it in the collection just because I have paid so much money for it. They're expensive anyway. All Kylie's products are expensive. Then you pay shipping, which is, you've got to pay shipping regardless. So the shipping to the UK is expensive from America anyway. But on top of that, guys, is the customs fee, which is extortion. This is why I don't buy it from America anymore. It's just too much money. It is a really nice palette, but every time I go to use it, I'm like, blah. Oh, I think I've tucked my finger in it there. Can you see that? But yeah, I'm like, blah. No inspiration from this at all. I think I'm going to end up giving it away at some point, which is a shame because how cute is that packaging though? Really, really cute. But yeah, I have got a ton of warm eyeshadow palettes, and I don't need another eyeshadow palette. As cute as Coral Obsessions is, and it is cute, I just don't need it. So yeah, I'm not going to buy it, guys. So what do you think of it? If you have it, what do you actually think of the Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions? I know quite a few people have got it, and I've seen it on people's channels, and I'm like, that looks so nice, and the looks you've created look so beautiful. But as I've like kind of pointed out, I know I've slightly digressed now like I always do, but as I pointed out, I can get those eyeshadows from other palettes in my collection. I know that could be said for like quite a lot of palettes that I bought in the past, but I've never actually looked at it this way. If you can get a palette, if you want a palette, look at it and then look in your collection and see if you can get those eyeshadows from your collection before you actually go out and buy this new palette, because the chances are that you will be able to do that, and that's what I'm going to do in future. It just makes more sense. But I can't do that with the Emerald Obsessions. I don't really have any palettes that have got greens in them. I mean, I've got the odd one like Juvia's Place, the Zulu, and also the Dupes. But they only have like lime greens in them, and like my Too Faced Melted Gold has a green in it, but not like the Emerald one. I have got one of where are you? Have got one of these Revolution like little reloaded palettes, and that has a few greens on it, but it's more like on your Subculture level. It's a dupe for the actual Subculture palette. I'll just go and get that and show it to you. So this is what it looks like. Really, really beautiful palette, and some people on YouTube have said this is better than the Subculture. Don't know about that, as I've not tried any of the Anastasia palettes, and I don't think I will, to be honest. They're really expensive, and you can get dupes like this. It really is a beautiful palette, and that shade there could also be a dupe for like from the Huda Beauty palette. It's a really nice mustard shade. As you can see, you don't really get a lot of greens in this palette, so that really is the only green shimmer shade. You do get quite a few matte greens, so there's like a forest green, then there's another green there, and that's really it. So yeah, I definitely want to pick up, if I don't get it for Christmas, I definitely want to pick up that Emerald Obsessions palette. Let me know your thoughts on it, if you have it, how does it perform, etc. But yeah, I mean, I've heard wonderful things about all of her palettes really, Huda Beauty's, and would like to try more from her in the future. But I don't want to get the Coral Obsessions just because of what I've said in this video so far. Hope you've enjoyed the video. It's a little bit of a different one for me today. I don't normally make videos like this. I normally stick to what I know, shop my stashes, declutter videos, what else? Do some kind of makeup looks on my channel as well from time to time, but I've never actually sat down and said this is why I'm not going to buy a certain palette, which I'll probably do more of in the future, but I'll just like kind of construct the video a little bit better because I do feel like it was a bit all over the place. Thank you for sticking with me. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. If you've not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and become a part of my little fam here on YouTube. It would mean so much to me. And hit the notifications bell as well, and that will remind you of when I upload. So my upload schedule, if you're not aware, is Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.